Everyone, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to do a quick review for the Lenovo K5 Pro. This is a phone here. It has a 6-inch full HD IPS LCD screen. On the front you have a 16 plus 5 megapixel camera. On the back you have a 16 also and a 5 megapixel camera with a dual flash, and it runs on ZUI, which is a very it's not the best ROM out there. It's like, just as I said on my previous Techno phone, these ways that these companies provide, they are the most annoying among it. I wish these people gave us stock Android or close to stock Android experience. So I'm going to do a quick review about the phone, and the other thing about the phone, quick review, is that it runs on Android 8.1 Oreo. It runs with a processor called Snapdragon 636 SoC, clocked 1.8 GHz. It runs on Adreno GPU 509. It has 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage, of internal storage, and it has Bluetooth 5. It have a good thing is that you have a Type-C charging port, and you also have stereo speakers for a phone of that price segment, and you also have 4050 mAh battery. At the look of this phone, it's a very good specs, very good. And let me divide my review among between pros and cons. The first thing I'll start with, let's first go to the settings before I go to the pros and cons. As you can see here, this is the settings, and as you can see that the storage, as just above said, is 128, and I have used around 36%. Let's go back to the about phone. Here you can see it runs the device is Lenovo K5 Pro. You can see the RAM, it runs on Qualcomm Snapdragon 636 SoC, which is a very good processor. The Android version is 8.1.0 Oreo, and it has 6 GB of RAM. So starting with the pros, the first thing I appreciate about this phone is definitely the big RAM and the big storage. For sure you cannot run low of storage here. Actually, I don't use an SD card, although it has a hybrid SIM slot. I don't use a memory card because the storage is very big. 128, feeling 128 storage is it will take a long time. The other thing is the big RAM. It has 6 GB of RAM, which I think is very huge. In day-to-day running, I did not notice any lag of any kind. Use either gaming or using social media or any other thing, it is very fast and fluent. The other thing I would appreciate is a fast charging. It has fast charging capability. It is capable of 18-watt fast charging, and it takes around 2 hours to charge the huge 4050 mAh. I will talk about charging also at the cons, because there is a con about charging. The other thing is that you have stereo speakers. So let me just play a video here and see how the stereo speaker sounds like. It's very attractive because at this price segment, for sure I don't think you can get any stereo speakers. So let's hear the audio. So you can see that there is some sound coming out of here at the earpiece. You can see there is very good sound. In form of sound, I think I can rate it 9 out of 10, bearing in mind about the price segment. It's very good sound, with stereo speakers, something that you don't find in budget phones here in Kenya or even outside Kenya. The other thing is that it's capable of dual 4G VoLTE. As you can see here, that both SIM cards are connected and have 4G capability. One is Safaricom, the other one is Airtel, and I'm able to get 4G connectivity on both of them. That's very good. And the network reception is another good thing. I would say it's very good and excellent. Bearing in mind some other phones where I am, Airtel is not very good. I'm also getting very good speed using Telcom line. I'm able to get up to 60 Mbps, which is very fast. So in form of network, I give it also 9 out of 10. The other thing is a huge battery. You can go up to 2 days without charging because the battery is very big. The phone is also very compact. As you can see, it's very light, very light. The other thing is about the fingerprint scanner. I will not say the fingerprint scanner is not the fastest out there, but I think it's fast enough. As you can see, not the fastest. I think comparing it with my Tecno Camon CXA, I would say the Tecno has a faster one. It has a faster one for sure, but it still works. It has you can also use face unlock using the Google face unlock. The other thing I would say is about the speed. Just as I said, the speed is very good because of that Snapdragon 636 SoC and also the 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. The other thing, now let me go to the cons, because no phone that does not have cons. The first thing is I would say is that though it has 18 watt fast charging, I think for me it charges with 15 watt. That's why it takes 2 hours instead, because I think using 18 watt to charge a 4000 mAh battery, it will take less than 1 hour, but mine takes 2 hours. So I guess that the implementation is that it uses 15 watt fast charging, but generally it's fast enough. You can get up to 1 hour of charge. You can get up to more than 50% of charge after 1 hour, which I think it's very good for most people. The other con is about this ZUI that is present in these Lenovo and Motorola smartphones. I think it's one of the worst. It's not the best custom UI out there. I wish these people gave us stock Android, because these UI I think they are not comfortable. They are not good for everyone. I don't think anyone would appreciate such kind of UI, but I've used a custom UI which I think is better, but the custom UI that comes with the phone, I think it's among the worst. I think Lenovo need to do something about it. They need to change the UI, or they simply give us stock or close to stock Android. I don't think anyone would appreciate such an UI. The other thing is that the con is the front facing camera during the low lighting conditions is not the best. I'll provide sample pictures at the end of the video, and you just see that it's not among the best in low lighting conditions, but in well lit conditions the selfie is very good and also the back camera is very good. But when you come to low lighting conditions, the camera is not the best out there. The other thing I would like to say is that yeah, I think generally that's the cons about this phone, and but generally the phone is very good. I have very many apps, and still I have a lot of storage remaining, so I appreciate that because I don't need to use a memory card here. So generally that is it for this video. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, and I'll see you on my next video.
Ah.